So, today we look at enclosure analysis in the presence of an absorbing and emitting gas. We already looked at the enclosure theory for evacuated enclosures, which is also applicable for enclosures with air or some transparent medium, okay. Just like enclosure analysis, what you have studied can be applied to find out the radiative heat transfer between the various walls of this room, okay. However, if you have a absorbing emitting gas, then we will have to modify some concepts of what happens to radiation in the presence of an absorbing and emitting gas. We have already seen, we derived the equation of transfer, we introduced the concept of emissivity, transmissivity, mean beam length, then we looked at some tables for calculating the mean beam length. For the general case, it was 3.6 volume by A. Then we solved a problem of radiation between two parallel plates kept at different temperatures, but intentionally I kept the emissivity equal to 1, so that you did not get the reflected term and all that, but it is very hard, it is almost impossible to get a surface with emissivity equal to 1. The general norm is emissivity will not be equal to 1. So, in those cases how do you modify the enclosure analysis, that is what we are going to see. Now, as usual we will take two surfaces A1 and A2. In the surfaces A1 and A2 we will take an elemental area dA1 to dA2. We will find out what is the radiation going from dA1 which is intercepted by dA2, we will integrate it over the whole area, but now this will get attenuated because of absorption by the gas, okay. Then we will include also the emission from the gas. If these two components are added, then the other parts of the radiosity radiation method including the view factors will be the same, okay. We will formally discuss the procedure in today's class and apply it to the problem which we have solved. We will extend the problem for the case of non-black walls, okay. Let us consider two areas A1 and A2 and two elemental areas dA1 dA2 and R is the distance between the two areas, and of course you have the unit vectors n1 n2, the angle subtended by this R with respect to the unit vectors are theta 1 and theta 2 respectively, and this is surface 1 and this is surface 2. But what is the difference between this R and the R we considered in the whole of February and March? This R is the path in the through the gas, okay. This R is path through the gas which is not going to keep quiet. Previously that R was through the vacuum or some transparent medium. So, R is basically path in the gas. Please keep it in mind. Now, how do we start? Okay, let all surfaces be okay. So, you have to start, consider two surfaces A1 and A2 which are part of a general enclosure. In A1 and A2 we take two elemental areas dA1 and D2, dA1 and dA2, and the configuration is shown. Now, all surfaces in the enclosure are gray diffuse. The gas is optically thin. The gas is optically thin, okay. So, the radiation which is leaving dA1 which is falling on dA2 is given by Yeah, can you tell me? J1 multiplied by J1 dA1, yeah. Okay, what is that extra funda I have put? Attenuation, exponentially it is going e to the power of minus kappa. Do not straight away ask me, sir, what is happening to emission, I will come to it. We will first handle the absorption. Okay, so for an optically thin gas, e to the power of minus kappa r can be written as 1 minus kappa r. E to the power of minus 0.02 is 0.02, correct? No, 0.98, sorry. E to the power of minus 0.02 is 0.98. Okay. Now, substituting in 1, we have J1 correct. Okay. Therefore, the irradiation of area 2 because of the radiation emanating from area 1 is given by double integral of the two terms over A1 and A2. Okay. Therefore, if I assume a uniform radiosity, I can take the J1 out. Correct. What is the first term? J1 into what is the integral? It is not U factor, be precise. A1 F12. U factor is 1 by A1. Okay. So, this is okay. That is known to us. We did problem, we solved so many problems with this, we solved so many problems without this. Okay. So, that is A1 F12. So, the second term should also be something. Okay. So, the second term I call it as A1 L12 or A2 L21, okay. Correct. A1 L12 is equal to, alright, therefore irradiation this is irradiation A2 just only from the radiation coming from A1, there could be other surfaces in the enclosure, okay. So, this is nothing but kappa times okay. Now, this is equal to irradiation falling on the area 2 basically from the wall element, we have not considered the irradiation coming because of the gas radiation, okay. So, this will be equal to A2 G2 star, correct, because everything is in watts, right side is also in watts, J1 is watts per meter square, F is dimensionless, A is meter square, okay. But now I do not like left side I have A2, right side I have A1, I do not like this, so what can I do? Can I do something? Yeah, I can use the reciprocal rule, okay. So, J1 okay, huh? F21, okay. What about the L21? Kappa, kappa it is also equal to L12 by F12, okay. G2 star, by the same token I can write G1 star, right, therefore G1 star will be J2 any of the two things, correct, any of the two things, it will be the same, right. For a two surface, watch carefully, for a two surface enclosure problem, please remember this parallel plate formula, the G1 will be J2 multiplied by the view factor Fij Jj. So, now we are getting an expression where it is Fij Jj multiplied by some factor. So, that factor can be deemed to be the transmittance of the gas. If the transmittance of the gas is 1, then we have what is called the evacuated enclosure or transparent medium. So whatever is within the brackets will have a value less than 1 consequent upon the fact that kappa is not equal to 0. Kappa represents the amount of mischief caused by the gas. Even it is an optically thin gas only, that is why we are able to write e to the power of minus kappa, even then it will come. If kappa is equal to 0, then there is no need to consider this, consider gas radiation at all. Therefore, this 1 minus kappa L21 by F21 can be considered as the tau of G, that can be considered as the tau of Ij, transmissivity of the gas. Okay. So, G1 star okay. What is this L12? This L12 or L21 is the mean beam length, okay. Because we are able to write this as a view factor, and from by inspection we are able to figure out that A1 F12 is equal to A2 F21. Since this expression is also analogous except for the fact that instead of pi r squared I have pi r, it follows that L12 or Lij also follows the reciprocal rule, correct. So, okay. So, tau 12 so when you have to work, already you are able, you can conjure up visions of how to solve this gas radiation problem. You will write the radii first, you will calculate the view factors. After calculating the view factors, you will put in the mean beam length and calculate the tau ij's. And then the tau ij will multiply the Fij Jj, it is titrated or attenuated or reduced because of the influence of the gas. Okay. Now, we have defined this tau of the gas. So, this is basically I can call it as gas transmittance. Now, having defined this, I have to modify my irradiation term. So, irradiation G of I consists of two components. This is irradiation from other surfaces. We have a way of handling this, okay. You can do it for every tau ij depending on how many surfaces are there in the enclosure. What about gas emission? Yeah, what is a gas emission? Sigma Tg to the power of 4 into epsilon g, right. How do you calculate epsilon g? From the mean beam length, correct. The starting point is the mean beam length. In fact, the tau will be 1 minus epsilon and tau will be related in such a way that epsilon plus tau is 1, something you will get, right, fine. So, now you are able to calculate the gas emission, you are also able to calculate the irradiation from other sources. Therefore, that is it. There are two critical changes which we have done to the irradiation. What are those? There are two important changes. The first change is we have an emission term in the irradiation also. That is, we have to account for the gas emission. So there is an emission term in the, I think we will have to start numbering. So there are two changes with respect to the theory of evacuated enclosures. The irradiation term consists of an extra emission term, and then within the summation I have the gas transmittance included by tau ij. The gas transmittance consists of the L12. The L12 is basically a simplified representation of a solution to the equation of transfer. All this Jamila we are able to do because we are doing some optically thin and we are able to get mean beam length and all that. But if it is not an optically thin gas, all these things have to be buried. You have to solve the equation of transfer and then it will be a full blown radiative transfer calculation. So this is to aid, it is to help, it is a simplified way, just like you have a lumped capacitance system. You say the whole body is at one temperature. It is also valid under some limiting conditions, the Biot number HL by K is less than 0.1, like that the optically thin gas. This is valid, optically thin gas, only one gas, it is not for a gas mixture. Okay. Now J one minus epsilon I Gi, correct? So the formulation is exactly the same as before, except that the irradiation has some extra terms, one extra term and one modified term. Extra term in the emission, the modified term is the Fijjj. Is that okay? Fine. So, and what is the mean beam length for an arbitrary area? 3.5 V by A. Alright. So this is basically the theory of evacuated enclosure applied to a problem for an absorbing and emitting gas. Now it can be pretty straightforward. For example, if the kappa equal to 0, that is the gas is not at all participating, if kappa equal to 0, tau 12 will be equal to 1. So this will become 0. Okay, this you do not worry. So this you do not worry about this. Epsilon g will become 0, correct? This is 0. This will become 1. So Gi will be just Fijjj. This will be the same, and you will get the same answer as before. Therefore, there is an asymptotic correctness associated with this, right. Now, revisit the problem which we did yesterday and solve it using the theory of evacuated enclosure, right. That is two parallel plates. Problem number 39. By modified enclosure theory, I mean enclosure theory modified for an absorbing and emitting gas. Okay. We should get the same answer as before. Okay. So let us take this. What is Tg? 1200 Kelvin, correct. Nine hundred, huh? Same as before. Now, instead of solving that, instead of using the solution to the equation of transfer and the exponential integral, we want to see whether we can use this theory of evacuated enclosure. Okay. Now let that formulation stay. So the first step is view factors F11, F22, okay, no problem. Next step tau g, okay, tau 12, tau 12 equal to tau 21, yes. Is everybody okay with this, right? Correct. What is L12 for parallel plates? We will take the 1.8 na, or you want to take 2? 1.8 is given in the tables, we will take the 1.8, okay. What is L12 now? 1.8 into 0.784, huh? What does it physically represent? 0.784 means the gas is allowing 80% of the radiation to go through, only 20% it is absorbing, correct. What is epsilon g? Correct, okay. Now you have to use the radiosity radiation formulation J1 because it is a black wall, right, correct. What is J1? 2.87 10 to the power of 5, correct. We worked out in yesterday's class. J2 37,200 na, no 1.37 37,200. What? Which one?
Gas emission plus the gas emission. Yeah, you're not calculating G for this because you don't need to.
I am not calculating that. 1 minus epsilon. No. What you are saying is plus. But that does not really matter, this fellow is already correct. In order to be clinically correct, I will say plus gas emission and then make it 0, okay, correct. Fine, okay. What is G1? Plus
plus J2 into tau 1.
no
F12 J2 tau 1.
Is this clear? If it is not clear, please ask me. These are fairly advanced, you will not see them in many books, you will not see this material in many books, only a few books. 54? Yeah, 54.4. Huh? Is that correct? How much is this? You should get the same answer as what you got yesterday. 232 kilowatt per meter square. Did you get the same thing yesterday? Correct? Please revisit 38, problem 38. Umesh, what did you get yesterday? Okay, 2 kilowatt is okay. Transmission and distribution losses. That is a technical term for pilferage. Okay, now we will also do the Q2. What is the first term? 25,395.8. What is it? No, what is it more?
252.7 kilowatt per square meter.
He is already going to the next one. 25,395.8 something plus 1 into G2 is equal to minus must be the same as what we got yesterday. So, if you are given a if you are given a black enclosure or a problem involving two black surfaces, parallel plate formula, you can either use the analytical method, I mean get the solution, use the solution, get the exponential integral, or you can use the theory of evacuated enclosures to solve the problem. Okay. Most important point is, as common sense will tell you, radiation is leaving the left wall and is arriving at the right wall. Therefore, the net heat flux from the left wall will have to be positive, because that is the wall at the highest temperature. That wall is the giver. The gas is also at a higher temperature, the wall is also at a higher temperature compared to the right side wall. The right side wall is at a temperature of 900 Kelvin, therefore it must receive radiation both from the wall as well as from the intervening gas, both of which are at higher temperature compared to this. Therefore, intuitively one would expect that Q2 is negative, but the beauty is Q1 is not equal to Q2. Q1 is not equal to Q2. What does it mean? The situation is unbalanced. You do not have an equilibrium here. Therefore, the radiative transfer equation is not an expression of the law of conservation of energy. At that instant of time, what is the net balance of, what is the net heat flux which is going? Therefore, we have to combine it with some energy equation if you want to solve for the temperature distribution. Getting the point, this is not the energy equation. Alternatively, I can pose the problem like this. For equilibrium to prevail between these two parallel plates, what should be the gas temperature? That means I will put Q1 is equal to minus Q2, but then I will keep Tg as unknown and I will find out the resultant temperature. You are going to do that and we will close the class with that. Problem number 40. Is it okay? That is called, what I am talking to you about is radiative equilibrium. Okay? Okay. Problem number 40, revisit problem 39. Revisit problem 39 for the case of radiative equilibrium. For the case of radiative equilibrium, determine the gas temperature Tg. Determine the gas temperature Tg for this case. Determine the gas temperature. The question clear? Needless to say, you can write all other parameters that held fixed as previous problem. If you want, you can. All other parameters are same as before. All other parameters are same as before. So, a solution to your radiative transfer equation does not guarantee equilibrium. So, the gas is getting heated, is it? Is that correct what we got? Okay, because 235 is coming out from the left wall, 232 is coming out from the left wall, but this fellow is able to absorb only 213 kilowatt. So, 19 kilowatts every second, 19 kilojoules per second of energy is being absorbed by the gas. The gas has to get heated up. So, my equilibrium temperature should be above or below 1200? It should be above 1200. Just see whether you are getting it. I hope so. Okay. It is interesting to note that I have not solved this. So, we will solve it together. Yes. It won't get cancelled. See? Minus or minus, no?
Should be minus of that.
Then you are saying the gas could be at any temperature. You are the next Nobel in physics then. Yeah, see, from common sense point of view, you know that you are wrong, isn't it, Deepak? So, the mathematics will be wrong, the physics cannot be. Let us work it out, okay. I think most of the other things we can keep, right. For tomorrow's class, please bring the charts, emissivity and emissivity charts for water vapor and carbon dioxide. I will quickly introduce the theory. We will solve 1 or 2 problems involving mixtures of carbon dioxide, water vapor, and okay, radiative equilibrium case. Arjun, what happened? Huh?
It will be like arithmetic mean of C1 plus Q2.
Okay, finally what is 1300 and something? 1300, we will do that. Okay. So, what is J1? Same as before? Same as before? Okay. J2 okay. So, J1 J2 is known. What is G1? Plus F12 fortunately the mean beam length is not dependent on temperature. If the mean beam length is dependent on temperature, you get into an infinite, you will get into a spin, you get into a loop. So, I made a statement in one of the earlier classes, we are able to separate the geometric and thermal parts. You did not understand the significance of that statement. If the thermal and geometric part are not separated, then it leads to tedious iterations. Fortunately, view factors are also not dependent on temperature. Okay, view factors, mean beam lengths, tau's are not dependent on temperature, which is good news for us. Okay, so G1, epsilon g is there, right? 0.216. What is this? Huh? Please tell me that value. 37,200 into 0.784. 29? 164. Okay. So, okay. So, G2 plus this will be too much. How much is it? Okay. I will erase this. You have to calculate this. F12 is 1, J1 is 2.87 10 to the 5. This is 0.784. This is 2.25. Now, since Q1 equal to minus Q2, J1 minus Deepak, they are not getting cancelled, they will get added. Okay. So, yeah, plus two 2.54 10 to the power of 5. Yeah, that's okay, I know how to do that. You are saying J1 plus J2 left side into a factor of, I am already committed to this. So Srikanth, what did you get? No calci. 2.54. So Tg to the power of 4 is yeah, huh? 0.85, 0.859, 10 to 12. $1,300 So if you want the gas to be under radiative equilibrium, it should be at a temperature of 1300, or left to itself. If sufficiently long time has elapsed and you are not controlling the gas temperature, the gas will come to this temperature. Then whatever is coming from the left side will go to the right side. In the absence of the gas, what will be Q? Now what is Q? What is Q for this now? What is Q1? Huh? 232. No, just check. Tell me. What is Q1 for this? 240? No. With the gas. Now can you calculate the Q? Please calculate the Q and tell me. Ketan, what happened? $222. Okay. Now I want you to appreciate the three cases where all the temperatures are specified, then you have no control over the energy balance. Second, you talk about energy balance in equilibrium case where Q1 will be equal to minus Q2, and the third case will be the kappa equal to 0, and Arjun is correct, 2.5. Now even for the radiative equilibrium case, because the gas has got a kappa which is not equal to 0, you are getting a flux which is lower than what you would have got if you had a transparent gas or had you vacuum in between these two plates. So from our working of these problems from yesterday, many of the concepts which we studied in the gas radiation become more clear, right. So because of the absorption of the gas, though it is emitting, the gas is at a temperature in between the other two walls, the net effect is it retards the flow of heat from one wall to the other wall. Okay. There could be the other case where the gases are very hot and you want the heat transfer to the walls. Where do such situations occur? In the fire tube boiler and all that, where from the hot gases on the walls you have tubes where water is sent, it becomes steam. Okay. In this case the walls are hot and the gas is getting heated up because of the presence of the wall. the wall definitely reduces, so the gas definitely reduces the radiative heat transfer between the two walls. Is this clear? We can keep on escalating this problem another 2 hours I can. So now I will say instead of 1 and 1 take epsilon is 0.9 and 0.6, and for this case find out the heat transfer. For epsilon is 1 equal to 0.9, epsilon 2 is equal to 0.6, what will be the equilibrium temperature? We can keep on doing, but we will close the discussion here as far as this thing is concerned. Tomorrow's class we will just take up the mixture of gases and solve one or two problems depending on the time, and on Friday we will start conduction heat transfer. Okay.